Have you ever wondered how your dog sees the world around them? Do they see everything in black and white, as many believe? Or do their eyes capture details and colors in a completely different way from ours? In this video, we're going to explore how our four-legged friend's vision works. Through studies in neuroscience and biology, experts have uncovered the secrets behind dogs' eyes, revealing that they have a unique visual perception highly adapted to their needs as predators and loyal companions. From popular myths to surprising truths, we're going to dive deep into our furry friend's vision, understanding how they see you, their toys, and even other animals. Dichromatic vision. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to see the world with fewer colors? What if the world you know, full of vibrant tones, was reduced to just two main colors? Well, that's the reality for our four-legged friends. Dogs see colors, but in a more limited way. They are dichromatic. Dichromatic vision means that the eye can perceive only two main colors. In the case of dogs, these colors are blue and yellow. But why does this happen? It all starts with the anatomy of the eye. In humans, we have three types of cone cells in the retina, each responsible for capturing different wavelengths of light: red, green, and blue. This combination allows us to see a wide range of colors. Dogs, however, have only two types of cone cells, one that detects blue and another that detects yellow. This means they can't identify red or green like we do. Instead, these colors appear as shades of gray or beige to them. But studies show that the combination of blue and yellow tones is enough for dogs to recognize people, objects, and other animals. For example, imagine throwing a red ball to your dog on a green lawn. To you, the ball stands out clearly. But to them, both the ball and the lawn may look very similar in tone, making it hard to distinguish. This explains why blue or yellow toys tend to catch their attention more. Now that you know this, it's easier to understand why they might seem uninterested in certain toys or even lose something that is clearly visible to you. Choosing items in tones they can identify is a way to improve interaction with them. Wider field of vision. Did you know that dogs can see more than we do? This is because they have a wider field of vision than humans. First, let's understand what the field of vision is. It's the total space we can see without moving our head or eyes. For us humans, this field is about 180 degrees, which is enough to perceive what's directly in front of us and a bit around. Dogs, on the other hand, have a field of vision of approximately 250 degrees, depending on the breed and the shape of their snout. This means they can see almost everything around them, except for a small area directly behind their head. This difference is directly related to the position of the eyes. In humans, the eyes are located at the front of the face, which favors binocular vision and depth perception. In dogs, the eyes are more positioned on the sides of the head, expanding the visual field. This is an evolutionary adaptation. While we prioritize details and focus in one direction, dogs have evolved to detect movements around them, essential for identifying prey or potential threats, even at a distance. Interestingly, different breeds show variations in their field of vision. Dogs with longer snouts, like greyhounds and shepherds, generally have a wider field. Brachycephalic breeds, like pugs and bulldogs, have eyes more oriented to the front, which reduces this field but improves depth perception. But how does this affect dog behavior? The wider field of vision makes them extremely attentive to their surroundings, allowing them to easily perceive peripheral movements. That's why sometimes your dog seems to see something before you notice it. If you observe your dog's behavior, you'll see that they are constantly moving their head and adjusting their focus. This happens because, with a wide field of vision, they need to combine information from peripheral and central areas to create a complete image of their environment. So, when we play fetch with dogs, understanding their field of vision is important. Throwing toys directly into their frontal visual field can confuse them, while broader and lateral movements catch their attention more. Night vision. Have you ever wondered how dogs can walk around in the dark as if it were day? Dogs' ability to see better in low-light environments is truly impressive and is directly linked to the evolutionary adaptations of their eyes. It all starts with eye anatomy. Dogs' eyes have a significantly higher number of rods in the retina. While cones capture colors and details, rods are specialized in capturing light, even in low-light conditions. This high concentration of rods allows dogs to better perceive their surroundings at dusk or in dark places. Another unique feature is the tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer present behind the retina in dogs. This structure acts like a mirror, reflecting the light that enters the eyes and giving the rods a second chance to capture it. This is why dogs' eyes shine in the dark when illuminated by a flashlight or headlights. This glow is not only visually fascinating, but also an indicator of how efficiently their eyes use any available light. Additionally, dogs have larger pupils than ours, which allows more light to enter their eyes. This is especially useful at dusk when ambient light is minimal. In return, this greater light intake sacrifices detail and sharpness, something dogs compensate for with their other keen senses, such as smell and hearing. This feature is an evolutionary adaptation. The ancestors of dogs were crepuscular predators, active at dawn and dusk when light is weak. Seeing well in these conditions was essential for detecting prey or avoiding predators. However, it's important to remember that, although they see better in the dark, dogs do not have perfect night vision. They still need some source of light, even if minimal, to navigate and identify objects in their environment. Lower visual acuity. Have you noticed that your dog seems to have difficulty distinguishing distant objects or small details? This happens because, unlike us humans, dogs have lower visual acuity. But what does this mean in practice? Visual acuity is the ability to perceive details and distinguish objects clearly. Humans can clearly see an object at 6 meters or 20 feet away. Dogs, on average, have such visual acuity that to see something as clearly as a human at 6 meters, a dog would need to be only 1.5 meters or 5 feet from the object. How does this impact dogs' daily lives? Instead of relying solely on vision, they use other senses, such as smell and hearing, to complement their perception of the world. For example, when a dog seems to ignore something small at a distance, it may be because they are not seeing it clearly and prefer to rely on their sense of smell to identify what is there. Interestingly, lower visual acuity does not negatively affect dogs' lives. On the contrary, it is perfectly adapted to their natural needs. Instead of focusing on details, they have vision highly sensitive to movements, which is more useful in situations like hunting or surveillance. Lower depth perception. Have you noticed that your dog sometimes hesitates when jumping from a high place or may have difficulty calculating the distance to catch an object? This happens because dogs have lower depth perception than we humans do. Depth perception is the ability to calculate the distance between objects in space. For humans, this is facilitated by binocular vision, which occurs when both eyes work together to create a three-dimensional image. However, in dogs, this perception is more limited, mainly due to the position of the eyes on the face. Since they see fewer details than humans, the visual cues used to calculate distance, such as the outline of an object or its clarity, are less evident to them. This can make nearby objects appear less defined, making it difficult to judge depth. This lower depth perception is especially evident in situations that require precision, such as catching a toy in the air or jumping between 2 points. That's why you may notice that your dog sometimes seems to underestimate or overestimate the distance. Lower depth perception is not necessarily a disadvantage, but rather an evolutionary adaptation. Their ancestors, who were predators, prioritized a wide field of vision to detect threats and moving prey, which was more advantageous than precise depth perception. If you want to help your dog in daily life, when training jumps or activities that involve calculating distance, give them time and stimuli to adjust to the challenge. So, were you surprised to learn how dogs see the world? While we see vivid colors and precise details, they perceive movements with incredible sensitivity and have such a wide field of vision that it's as if they are always ready to detect everything around them. Dogs' vision may seem limited in some aspects, but it is perfectly adapted to their needs and the role they play in the environment, whether as hunters, loyal companions, or protectors. Now that you better understand your dog's vision, How about seeing the world through their eyes? Use toys with colors they can distinguish, play in open spaces, and take the opportunity to stimulate other senses, such as smell. If you like this video, don't forget to leave your like and share it with other dog lovers who also want to better understand their four-legged friends. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more content like this. See you next time. And remember, the world seen through a dog's eyes is as incredible as the love they have for us. Thanks for watching.